Mrs Saville Roberts.
Cyntaf iawn, Ddatblygiad araith.
Yeah, here.
And first of all, I really would like to thank my honourable friends, the members for Central Ayrshire and Glasgow North, for securing this debate. And Tim Peake's 6-hour venture tomorrow as part of a team of, I understand, 2 Tims to replace a solar power connection unit in space will be watched with awe by children and adults alike. You'll be glad to hear that I took out a cliché that had already been used before, that was actually in that paragraph. Tim's iconic voyage into space, living and working on the International Space Station, is beamed into our lives, and this is fascinating, tweet by tweet. He's paid tribute to David Bowie's Starman, and he sends us his extraordinary aerial views of the planet alongside spacesuit selfies. It really gets a feeling of life there on the space station, as well as these iconic visions, iconic views. And he raises our aspirations to the farthest frontiers, and let's make the most of this chance to spark young people's interest in the career of the future. Now, the spirit in which this motion is presented is to be greatly appreciated. The sense that there is potential here, perhaps not just a single spaceport site, but that there is potential here for a number of areas, a number of sites across the UK, because it's of course the case that those of us, those members with vested local interest in a possible spaceport site in our constituencies, will inevitably take the opportunity to set out our individual stalls. This is our representative duty. But the proposal to ensure this fantastic scientific, cultural and technological opportunities arising from the UK spaceport development, well, this must benefit the United Kingdom as a whole. And now, with that semi-apology, I must turn to the possible spaceport site of the former RAF camp near Llanbedr.
Here, hold on.
It is in a coastal location surrounded by sand dunes between Cardigan Bay and the hinterland of Snowdonia. The site has a 50-year track record of airspace management and operations. It comprises 3 main runways, the longest of which is orientated in such a way that flights pass over sparsely populated areas. Unique of all the candidate sites, Llanbedr already has access to 2,000 square miles of segregated airspace over Cardigan Bay. The airfield was bought by the Welsh Government in 2004 as a strategic asset, and since 2008 has been leased by Llanbedr Airfield Estates on a long-term lease. So far, it's been mostly used for the testing, evaluating and developing of remotely piloted air systems and unmanned aerial vehicles commonly known as drones. Its most recent initiative relates to the use of drones for protecting fisheries. The site's included in the Snowdonia Enterprise Zone, which has facilitated improvements included in £1.5 million spend to upgrade its facilities and infrastructure. The Civil Aviation Authority has rightly identified safety as the overriding operational principle for a spaceport. And this, of course, applies not only to any members of the public and workers using that port, but also to the uninvolved public. This would imply that the combination of relative isolation, coastal location, and segregated airspace satisfies these requirements as fully as possible. It's safe to say, and others have made the case for this excellently already, that the economic potential for a spaceport, both in its immediate locality and further afield, is immense. Now, the county of Gwynedd is to a great degree dependent on public sector employment and the leisure industry. Mae Llanbedr, as a constituency, suffers from seasonal and minimum wage employment. Although official unemployment figures are low, chronic economic inactivity is a very real issue. The demographics of the area indicates a steadily ageing population as young people move away for higher education and employment. This is the price we pay for dependency on the seasonal tourism industry, a shrinking public sector, and scant government investment in well-paid employment. And of course, this is in no way simply a local investment in a far western corner of the United Kingdom. Llanbedr has the potential to benefit the whole of North Wales, with its educational powerhouses in the University of Bangor, Wrexham's Glyndŵr University, Grŵp Llanryddion and Coleg Cambria. And it goes far, far further than that. The Northern Powerhouse would have this development within easy reach. This is the nearest site to the international travel hubs of Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, Cardiff and London. It's also the closest candidate site to the UK Space Gateway at Horwell in Oxford. This has the potential to make a real difference to Gwynedd and indeed to the economy of the wider area and the UK as a whole. Yet we are still waiting for the government to bring us out of the limbo of expectation by providing the operational criteria for the UK spaceport. It is impossible to move ahead as we don't know yet what we're bidding for. It's difficult even to quantify in terms of jobs locally and further afield until we know what these operational criteria are. We need these, and we need them as a matter of urgency. And I would say this uncertainty impacts locally. Caravan sites in the area tell me that their customers are reluctant to commit to new contracts until a definite decision is made about the future, one way or another. And to close, I'd like to say that I spoke to a student at my local sixth form college, Coleg Mae Llanbedr, and he happens to live in the next village to Llanbedr as well. Now, on the one hand, he tells me his fellow students, his friends, think this is a cloud cuckoo project. It'll never happen. How could it ever happen in somewhere like Mae Llanbedr? And then you could see the flash of hope and realisation. Yes, this could happen here, and I could be part of it. Like Buzz Lightyear, we can turn falling with style into to infinity and beyond.
Yeah.